Greetings, fellow Forex traders. My name is Pete Soros, and I'm going to be taking a look today at the Euro USD and giving my technical outlook on the pair. I am strictly going to speak of technical analysis, although I do follow fundamentals. I'm not going to be discussing them here in this analysis. So let's go ahead here and talk about the Euro USD. I start my analysis on the 4-hour compression. This is where I do most of my analysis, and what I'm looking for here throughout this week is I'm looking for the market to create a corrective movement north, overall correcting the movement south that we have seen last week and the major rally that we saw on Friday of last trading week. And what we can see here on the 4-hour compression is that I've created a channel that I'm currently looking for the Euro USD to continue trading in. And we can see here what I've done on the 4-hour compression is I've taken the tops of my resistances here and I've connected the resistance to a support, so this is a true trend channel here on the 4-hour Euro USD, and we can see that the overall trend is down. We can see here that market on Friday stopped perfectly at the bottom of the trend wall. So what I'm looking for here is a pullback in this market being the corrective wave of this overall movement. Now this is not a sustainable trend in this area. We realize that, so we anticipate that this market is definitely going to retrace this movement. So let's just go ahead here and take a look at a few things and show what is happening here on the Euro USD. So overall, we traded down to the 43.30 price level or so on Friday. We can see that right there. And what's interesting is that we can see here upon further analysis that when we take our Fibonacci of the movement here, okay, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go on my 1-hour compression for that. Okay, and what you can see, what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to fib this movement. Now we can see here at the start of this movement, okay, and what we always look for is the 1.270 fib payout, and we had that 1.270 fib payout occur here. So at this point we saw a pullback to the top of the trend wall, okay, and then we saw a nice movement come in right here in this market and a pullback. So now what we can do is we can erase these right here and we can set a new area here of fib retracements and furthermore importantly of fib expansion levels. Okay, so now what I'm looking at is I'm seeing this market is resting here perfectly on the 786, okay, and we can see that from the 786 we still can move down to around the 142.60 area where we have this 1.270 where is overall the completion movement, and from there what we had anticipated is when the market takes this out we can see a hook out of the trend. We would look for the market to pull back here and trade up to the 144.75s, then overall to the 146.20 areas here. Okay, and overall working this channel here that we can see on the Euro USD. Furthermore, let's take a look at what we have going on in the chart. Okay, we'll go ahead back here to the 4-hour. Okay, and what's important here to note is that when you take a look here at this entire movement north that we've seen here on the Euro, okay, when we go right here, so when you fib the bottom here of the movement to the top because you have a swing low to a swing high, what we can also see is that this market is currently sitting right at that 50%. So what this is telling me here is that we're most likely not going to make a movement down to the 1.270 before we start seeing this market bounce and travel up here to the top. Okay, and what we can see here is that this market in the past has bottomed out here, okay, at the 143 price area. And what we can also see here is that this market is now respecting these levels here of resistance are now being created as profit targets for the movement up, okay, or excuse me, for the current movement south. So we can see that what we had in here was respect of these areas, okay, in the market. We can see how the market respected this point here of resistance because remember, a resistance from the past is going to tell as a target for the future movement. Now what's important to note off of this downtrend here is that you can see this is the overall last key resistance area. Now what you can argue here is say at the 1.270 fib target level that when you look back and adjust down right here that we do have a valid resistance point from this downtrend, but this is not part of the overall downtrend. This is just a pullback of the overall downtrend. So that is why I am more lenient towards the fact that this is going to be a 786 movement on the Euro, that we're not going to see the full 1270. And now what I'm going to look to do is I'm going to look for opportunities here to take this pair north and trade it up to the levels that we talked about, depending on when the market begins to move up to the 145.50 price level or so. Okay, so furthermore, let's just take a look here at what else we have to see, and since we can see here that this resistance point played a profit target on the next future downtrend that happened right here, now what we want to say is that if this market here does reverse, we need to find a uptrend that's going to play as profit target areas. And what we can see here, okay, happening on this pair is we can see that in this uptrend that we have right here, we have a support right here, okay, and what we have is a support right here, and what we have is a support, okay, actually we don't have a support right there because this is part of the downtrend. So now what can we anticipate is going to occur in this movement, and what we're going to do now is we can foretell this movement and say that we anticipate that this market is going to complete its movement down at this time in an overall downtrend, but we're looking for a correction movement, because remember, this is not a sustainable trend. The market cannot continue trending at this angle that is way greater than a 45-degree angle, and the market cannot sustain that. So what I'm looking for here is I'm going to look for this movement to do this, and that is to move up here to this support, which is now going to act for the next movement up. This support is now going to act as a target. You notice how it's running right into that heart line. Look for a pullback from here, potentially a 50% retracement of this movement, and then from this 50% area look for a movement north here to the top, being the next area of support from the past uptrend, okay, and then from here look for the sell-off of the overall downtrend to come back into play at the 145.50 area or so. So this is what I'm expecting for the trading week ahead here on the Euro USD. Hope that helps. Until next time, wish everyone good luck and happy trading.